set up here. So I'm in Townsville, Australia, and wanted to do a little chat on global digital currencies and a few things like that. So I did a live yesterday on TikTok, and since doing that, I've been restricted on TikTok. So I thought I'd have another go on Facebook. It's dodging the bullet. Everywhere you go, you get restricted, so you have to move to somewhere else. So I just wanted to talk about a few things that you may have seen the video yesterday. I was in a shopping mall here in Australia, and I'm in Townsville currently. Got removed by security. People like, oh, you stirred that up. You were sensationalizing things, and I really wasn't. I'd had a haircut. I went in there and just saw the digital ID. I asked them if I could take a picture of the card that's on the last part of the video, and excuse me, they came back with no. And I said, well, I'm not going to put you on it. I just want a video. And so I took some pictures of their stand and some video, and I chatted a little bit with one of the men that was there, and nothing offensive or serious. And the next thing I know, security's there, and they're escorting me out of the shopping malls. I thought, wow. What was interesting, the man was saying how the police here now are enforcing if you're not carrying a driver's license with you. And in not carrying the driver's license, they have a reason to ticket you. So then, and it's a hefty fine. So they're hitting people with these hefty fines for not having their license, and then obviously when you are a lot more open to a digital driver's license, so they're opening things up to try to get that digital driver's license underway with a digital ID. And then this morning, Scott shared one from Arizona where they're bringing it in Arizona. So it's coming globally, the digital ID. So I just want to talk a little bit about that, why that's an issue. People are like, well, it's a great idea. And some of it is a great idea, but it's where it leads and what's in the background that's not good. And we know where it leads, and we know what's in the background because the World Economic Forum has made that very clear to all of us. I'm sitting in a coffee shop here in Townsville, so I get a bit of noise in the background. It's too hard to hear me. So we, we've seen it in China. They have the social credit score, which they then link to the digital ID. I put a video up, I don't know, maybe a month ago from China where people were walking back to sound quality is bad, is it? Oh, I don't know if I can get it any better. Let me see if I can. I think we've got weed whackers in the background, weed blowers. I'm sitting here. It's a bit. Let me know if it's like too unbearable, and I'll stop and maybe go inside and I'll try it in there. But if it's too bad, thank you, Stephen. Yeah. So it's where it leads. But I wanted to point something out that I think is vital to the survival of freedom movement. And there's so many causes we can get caught up in. The money, the digital ID, the vaccines, you name it. And I think they purposely want those things because as we get focused on that, we give our energy to that. And it's like being an addict. We get so caught up in it. When I started the global freedom movement, I felt pretty strongly that I was to not get caught up in the cause, but to just let freedom be the cause, and not a cause, but freedom to be what it was all about. And some of the other groups that were, about the vaccines, about the protests, things like that, they grew rapidly. But then the cause moved on, and people were looking for the next cause. And a lot of those groups, now I just share my content into those groups, and they don't really have much content. And sort of our group, the Global Freedom Movement, and 2 Free Scott, it's really been from the beginning of this here in Australia. And the reason it's stayed consistent, I know the sound quality's bad, Robert, I apologise. Should I go inside? Send me a comment. I can go inside if you think it'll be better. It'll mean I can do that. Why don't I go inside? Let me take this inside and I'll leave it on and I'll walk with you. My cup of coffee. Let's see how we go. Huh? Maybe it'll be a little better here. Might be a little bit of music. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. All right. Okay, so tell me, is it any better? The sound quality now is good. It's not good. Give me somebody shoot me a comment there. Um, you can hear me now. Yeah, good. We got some nice music in the background, but other than that, we're good to go. So if it's any worse or it gets too bad, let me know and I'll have to find what I can do. So anyway, it's so easy to get caught up in these causes, isn't it? I mean, and they suck our life out of us. While we're caught up in those things, they're winning. So I think there's no better examples than the vaccines, really. I'm going to move it this way so that maybe you'll get some better light. Here we go. Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have had this set up a little better. But as we get focused on these causes, they suck the living life out of us. And while we're doing that, they're getting us fighting the left, fighting the right, fighting the up, fighting the down. While all that's happening, we in the background, they're doing what they've said they're going to do. They're bringing in the digital IDs. They're bringing in the totalitarian control. And we're suckers if we get focused on a cause. It's like having an apple tree that's grown in the wrong place. And you can get so focused on the apples that you're pulling the apples off the tree and you're yelling about the apples and you're yelling about the guy that's waters the apple tree every day. But in reality, cut the tree down. If you cut the tree down, it all ends. And I think that so much of what we're seeing people give their energy to is counterproductive. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong. Sounds worse. I'm not winning here, am I? I think we got some wind going on. It gets worse. We give our energy to it, and they're slipping it through. I saw yesterday Gerald Celente from the Trends Institute there in the US. He did a little video where he was talking about the collapse of dollars. What's he call it? Dirty dollars for digital trash. And he said in 2023 we're going to see the collapse of currencies and the rise of the digital currency, and that's for sure what's going to happen. So, Robert, send me another message. Is this getting through now? Are we good on the sound, or we are not good on the sound? Maybe if I flip us around, we might be able to get it better. No, it's really not very successful. I thought it'd be really nice to show you some of the folks in Australia while we were chatting, but I don't think that's working out. So digital ID is that. I think it's a very big piece of this puzzle. I just shared a thing from Arizona where they're bringing it into Arizona. They're doing it here in Australia. And as they do it, it's global. They're bringing in digital ID. The WEF has said it. We are bringing in digital IDs. They want to bring in the control of movement, like I was saying earlier. Shared the video of people in China that were not able to move. They couldn't go anywhere because they couldn't catch a bus because the digital ID was not right. They didn't have the social credits to be able to move. And so it was sad. The article said they'd been walking for a week to try to get home across China, pulling their little bags. And, it was tragic. And don't bet they'll do it here. They will try it. They'll try to do it with each of our countries as they get more and more control. And we all know government, when they get control, they use control. When you give somebody control of your life, they're going to dominate you. They're going to use it. They're going to exercise. So I wanted to just, I'll make this one quick. I'll come on in another place where it can be quieter. I just wanted to leave an encouragement. Don't get caught up on the causes. You know, if we get caught up on a cause, we're no better than them. You know, to get upset with them, we're no better than them. It's, yeah, okay, I'm upset. I know I get emotional sometimes with it. I, you know, have told police officers off and things like that, but it's counterproductive. I never feel good after it. You know, people can pat me on the back and say, well done, Scott. Yeah, you really told him what for, didn't you? But inside I'm going, yeah, I'm not proud of it. And so I've sort of allowed my peace to reign in that. And I try not to get caught up in attacking these people because they think they're doing a good thing. And when I attack, I just look like the goon. I was doing it here at one of the protests. The police were there, and I would mouth off at the police pretty hard. You know, this is your kid's future, and you know, and I'm whipping the police officers verbally, guilting them and shaming them in what they're doing. And I stopped. Actually, I think I actually went and apologized to one of them, and later, and yeah, hello, Debbie. And I remember I was at the Parliament House here in Australia, and one of the protesters was mouthing at a young police officer, and she was just standing there looking pretty scared, actually, as this guy's in her face. I jumped down, and I was standing on a wall, and I jumped down and got in between him and the young police officer girl that was being abused, and I diffused him and sort of distracted him and got him to go somewhere else. And I really started to realize this. Of course, they have a choice. They don't have to be doing this, but they're not the problem. The problem is the people behind them, the cowards behind them that send them out as a mafia to do their dirty work. So I made a decision at that time. I am no longer going to give my energy to attacking things that are irrelevant. I'm no longer going to give my energy and my strength to attacking police officers, for instance. They are just people like you and I. They're on a journey. Yes, they may be in a different place to me, different convictions to me, but I don't need to play God. I don't need to try to sort everybody out. And it's hard when you have a really strong sense of justice, which many of us do. And you see things being defiled, you see things being taken advantage of, and you want to speak up. And it is important to speak up. But I think, yeah, we do. We have to be respectful. And I think in that we have to realize that we're really only hurting ourselves. And like I've said, when we get focused on the fruit of the tree's still growing. And, you know, I can be pulling all the apples off the tree, but if the tree's still growing, it's just going to grow apples again. And it's really important, I believe, to focus on what really is matter, what really does matter, the broader issue of freedom, the broader issue of this is coming, like it or not, this is coming. It's biblical. You're fighting the Bible itself, I believe, if you try to stop this. Not that we shouldn't try to stop it, but it's coming. I mean, the USA, you're very close to this. The global currencies will collapse. Even Gerald Celente, which is a mainstream, well-known man in the USA, is now starting to say the same thing. 2023 is going to see the collapse of the US currency and many currencies around the world. I believe that before the next presidential election in the US, 2024 November, we will see, I believe, the collapse of the global currency, especially the US currency. Some of the things around that I've talked about and will continue to talk about. I think what's best done is we prepare each other in hope, in freedom. We're a freedom family, and as we start to link in that family, we start to unite in our purpose and our goals, we're going to be able to survive this. But it's already been decided. It's already in place. It's already on the way. As we've just shared again, if you've just come on, Arizona sharing now that you will have a digital ID or you won't be able to travel by this certain date. And if it's in Arizona, it's in every other state in the US. Most of them, probably not Florida, thank God for DeSantis. So just reflect on your life. Reflect on my life. And I'm saying, all right, what am I giving my energy to? If I'm giving my energy to this and it's sucking me dry, then I'm in the wrong place. And sometimes there's invitations from God himself
to relax, to be calm. And when we're relaxed and we're calm and we connect, we do way better in what we do. Um, Craig, yeah, it's better to stand off rather than attack. Talk with people respectfully, knowing that many of them, one cuts off on my screen one day. Yeah, I, I agree. I think we have to show respect. As we show that respect, and I'm saying I get angry. I've been angry at some of these protests. I remember walking away from some of them just feeling like so ripped up on the inside because it's not me. I'd mouthed off at police officers, whipped them verbally. And then I stopped and I thought, I'm not proud of that. That is not me. That is not what I do. I don't get charged up like that. So I backed off. I don't do it again. I've actually stood and tried to protect them at times from protesters who have been too aggressive. I think when we get caught up in that, we're giving the energy and the life that we should be giving to, we deserve it back as well. Margaret, you're right. We do deserve it. When we act like this, two wrongs don't make a right. When I disrespect somebody, when I talk trash to someone, and I've done that, I'm wrong. I'm just as wrong as they are. And now everything that I am saying and everything that I'm doing, it's just in the wrong place. So we can say, well, what do I do? I think we talk. We approach them as we would approach anybody that we care about, because we do care about them. And I think I think in that we just stay calm and act instead of reacting. Acting instead of reacting. So I'm going to finish this up here because we got people coming into the coffee shop and it's going to get loud, and I wanted to drink here as well. I don't really drink a lot of coffee. Sitting with you folks, I drink coffee. So I'll come in again probably tomorrow morning around, probably a bit earlier than this. But, again, just a quick one, but thanks for everything. We do win this. We do win, but we've still got a journey ahead of us. Thanks again. Oh, I had to close it off.